We began in the year 2010 with Sports Saturday and free commentary of all home and most non-league games. We continued with live updates after County got promoted in 2013. We flipped it into a podcast called Sport Hour in 2019. And we began smashing it again from 2020 as we became all new Look Back in Amber. Today, we are very proud to be the official podcast of Newport County FC. Right here, it's Lamsley live at the Neon. Right now, this is a Look Back in Amber special edition.
Broadcasting in digital stereo, online, on your mobile phone and on your home devices.
Right here, right now.
Newport City Radio.
For the next 60 minutes plus, we're absolutely county on Newport City Radio. In the studio, our king of the co-commentary, Stephen Hale, is with us. Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm saying evening already, and this could be heard at any time of day. And also with us, the prince of the post-match interview, Luke Lewis. How you doing, mate? You okay?
Good morning, good night, good evening. Whatever time you're listening.
Oh, absolutely well.
It's always 11 o'clock somewhere.
They started already. What am I going to do? They're looking like Westlife tonight. They're on their stools, so they're back with it again. Pleased to have the chairman of Newport County with us as well, Gavin.
How you doing, mate? Okay.
Yeah. How's the last couple of weeks been?
Yeah, really good. It's always strange in the close season, anyway. Certainly on our side of life, because the players often say, you know, enjoy your break, but it never really is a break. Football never really switches off. It's a very busy period. But no, we've been delighted with the planning. Planning's gone really, really well, you know, and credit to all the admin staff in the background, and Darren Kelly, our sporting director, and James, our manager as well. It's been really, really good. And you know, people would have seen the events of this week, the open training session we had yesterday, and also the away show.
Started already.
Yeah, I just want to get it in. See,
he's got it. We're going to do it. We're going to talk about it. Right.
But they've been really good. I think it's been great. Yeah, it's been really good.
Last time we did this, I spoke to James about having a red card. I think I needed today. James, you're looking well. You're looking nice and relaxed before the terror of the new season starts on Saturday. How you doing, mate? You okay?
I'm really good, thank you.
Really good. Thank you both for coming in. As you would expect, our questions, and listeners have been messaging us in as well on Facebook and Twitter, getting their questions in, and the silly stuff that you probably don't really need in your lives, but we're going to do it anyway. So, serious stuff to start off with. So, James, last time we spoke, I think my first question with you was, how do you reflect on the last season? It was too soon. Now I'm aware it could be a little bit too late. So let me try a different way. With last season at the way now and heading into Saturday's first game of the brand new season, what are you taking into it? What are you taking into this season?
Yeah, so for me now, it's looking forward to what we're going to try and achieve this season, which hopefully is something that the football club hasn't done for a very, very long time. So we've planned that way. We plan to be more progressive in what we do and how we do it, and the lads have been terrific. I can't speak well enough of them with how we've moved things on from my first day back in October the 20th to now. Let me phrase it a different way. I'm really proud of where they're at as a group, and that's testament to them, and I'm really excited by it.
Yeah, we're kind of straddling kind of the end of last season and really excited about the new one, so there's going to be lots of questions around that.
Yes, my first question is for Gavin. Previously on the show, you spoke about getting the whole club under the same roof. Have you managed to achieve that yet?
Yeah, we did. A couple of weeks ago, we had an afternoon together in Rodney Parade. James has been really clear when he came in. You know, we've got the strapline of one club, one county, and it's how you then live that out. We got our heads together and we decided we'd have a bit of away day. It was an away afternoon where all departments in the club, first team, staff, the academy, the scholars, community, office staff, the lead volunteers, Rodney Parade staff. It was everybody came together, and we had a bit of fun. We put everybody in groups, so a bit of random facts about people. I'll let James share some of those about individuals, and then what we agreed as well then was our values for the day, and for the club that will take us forward for the season. So yeah, we managed to do that, and then we got together then in the kind of early evening for a club barbecue, and it was really nice actually for everybody to get. We'd never done it before. It was really, really enjoyable afternoon, and hopefully it's things like that will see you through the seasons when you've got your dark nights in November in Carlisle or other type places. But it was enjoyable. It was good though, James, wasn't it? It was a good day.
I've obviously experienced a lot when the clubs I've been at previously, and it's been done really well, and And I suppose the difference here is very much a family-orientated club where we rely massively on volunteers, on the support of everyone that does it with different stakeholders and the supporters. We want to try and give the supporters the best we can this year. We want to give our best possible version of ourselves, and to do that you've got to do certain things to get there, and fair play to the chairman for getting it done. It was a really good day,
It's got to start with us, and it's got to start getting the team together, and everybody understands it right from the beginning of the brand new season. So,
Yeah.
I love
But
that.
it is those simple things, though, Ian.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, even we have 3 objectives of the day, actually. One of which is people get to know each other. One of which, the other which was our values, and then we had a all club photograph together, and it was interesting talking to people, just. The scouts then at the academy, for instance, they work for free as volunteers. They came along, and there they were sitting next to first team players and having conversations, and people who knew names of other people who had never met them before. And everybody I spoke to, and the feedback was that was the thing they got out of it, was sitting next to somebody you'd never met before, whoever they were within the club, and it was good from that perspective. And if that helps us through in terms of that, then fantastic. And it was an enjoyable afternoon though.
We've got more questions about that later, because you've alluded to the barbecue, which I think is coming up. We had a little away day down Barry Island, so that's what we
Nice.
did. There's no values. Perhaps that's what I need to do. We need to go away and talk values and stuff like that.
Kiss
but
me quick hats.
we didn't go that far either. Do you know what? I've got to an age now where I used to love sunbathing, and me and beaches are just not getting on at the moment.
Why's
so I just think I've just gone past it, which is horrible to say.
Well, okay.
Yeah. I think it's just happened. I'm not enjoying the heat and the burn of the sun that I used to.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Great
it's
arcades
quite-
down there, though. I love the
it's
arcades down there,
amazing.
the old
There was.
90s. Yeah, that's brilliant.
For me, the donuts are just outstanding down there. We're back to food again. Look, we're already like 10 minutes
you
into
go.
it and we're on to food. James, you've got away for a good couple of weeks now without being asked the difficult questions by Luke Lewis. Here's one.
Come on then, Luke.
Yeah, over the summer, a bit left field, Nick Townsend became an international for Antigua and Barbuda. You must be pleased for him.
He did, and it's been in the pipeline for a little bit because of there was a few paperwork, not issues, the right word, a few paperwork gathering things they had to do with regards to getting that sorted, and for him to make his international debut is a proud moment for him and his family. So I'm really pleased for Nick.
That must reflect well on the club, Gavin, as well.
Oh, absolutely. I think, we've seen that historically here when we've had players here who've represented their countries. And, it's great for that. And as James said, it's great for Nick. He's a great lad and really nice. And you can tell he was, when I spoke to him about it, the pride in which he talked about it and what he did. And, of course, he did very well for them as well. And, it really is good for the club. Puts us on the map, which is what we want.
My next question, again for you, Gavin. I've got some for you, James, as well. Don't worry.
It's like you two I'm talking today. I'm really aware of that.
Yes.
We spoke about on the last show about it being the 10th anniversary of league football in Newport County. Are there any plans?
Yeah, no, absolutely. As I said before, we've spoken to a few people about this. We'll absolutely be recognising that, probably be later on in the year. It's always one of those difficult things when you're arranging events around a football club, because if you're doing well, everybody wants to go to it. If you're not doing so well, people don't. So, we need to try and strike a balance. But, it's a massive milestone in a club. We've all supported the club for years and years, and, we're probably all there at Wembley that day, and what a fantastic achievement. It absolutely needs to be recognised, and we will be doing that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, brilliant.
Have you got any kind of thought on what shape and what that will look like?
Well, I think...
Or is it a whole season thing, or is it just...
No, I think we'll definitely do... we've talked about an event, which will probably be, the next year, i.e. in 2023. So we'll definitely do something around that. But, there's some key moments within that as well. So, I think we'll probably do a couple of things, but it'll definitely be one event. Try and get those folk who are involved then back together, not just on the field but off the field. There's a lot of people, who played a significant role at that time to get the club back into the Football League, and I think it's important that's recognised.
Next question from me is to Gavin. Obviously, we've seen the Women's Euros in England. Obviously, the Lionesses have got to the final. I've heard on countless occasions that people have been inspired now to play football. Women, girls from a young age, and I dare say James, the 2 young girls, will be able to say that as well. Any plans to capitalise on the success of the women's game at the moment?
Yeah, I think I've watched quite a lot of the games actually. I was on holiday when they were on, and I was sitting there with my little lad watching them, and I mean, I watched the game last night, and I'll be watching the final as well. I think it's been fantastic, and you're right, it has galvanised the England as a nation. We back last year partnered with the FAW and put our FAW girls development squad together, so that runs right away 9s right away through to 15s, and James and I went along with Dave Adams, who's the chief football officer in Wales, to open that up, and that's a really important integral part of what we do as a club, and especially as a community-owned club as well. So I kind of think we need to look beyond that, because in my mind, we need to have a pathway. We haven't really got a pathway at the moment. But as I think I said before, if we're going to do something, we need to make sure it's going to work. It's going to work properly. It's going to be sustainable over a period of time. And that takes a bit of planning to do that. But there's never a greater opportunity than to start to look at that now and build on what we've got, especially what's going on in the women's game, because there's no doubt about it. It's going to be already is building into the next best thing, and we want to be part of that.
So how confident are you that the infrastructure in Newport is here at the moment, so the girls watching the Euros at the moment are able to go and play for a club somehow, or get involved with football even at the basic lower levels?
Yeah, I'm probably not that confident in that respect. I think that it's well documented. If you have a look at what Noel Mooney's been saying for a while within Wales and grassroots generally, the infrastructure is not there, which is why part of his strategy within the FAW is to try and influence that and put that in place, and of course we're a part of that as a key stakeholder in it. So you only have to look around Newport and realise it's not criticism of anyone, but there's not that infrastructure that is there. But there's certainly the teams that are in and around, but if they got that infrastructure to put their people through, and that's why we felt partnering with the FAW around the development side of life sat better in a club. They thought that as well, which is why we've got what we've got. But from a facility perspective, it's always going to be a challenge until you get that investment in, and I think that doesn't just come from the club, that needs to come from all the authorities, including the FAW and indeed including Welsh Government.
It just feels a bit chicken and egg, really, doesn't it? It seems to me now there's going to be that demand, and you are where you are, but I know it feels that it doesn't really matter as long as girls are getting to see this and getting to see that they can actually be part of it and live that lifestyle. That's going to be a winner, isn't it? I think.
Well, I think so. And I think there's two parts of it, isn't it? There's the part of being involved and actually playing, the sport, but also there's the part of what we do at the club in terms of that inclusive approach of coming over and watch our games. And I think we've seen that more and more of last season with the match day experience that we focused heavily in and the work that, and I must mention this, the work that the community, Norman Parcell and others do out there is fantastic. It's second to none in terms of what it attracts. I went up to the community summer camp they had over the last couple of days. My little lad was there, but again there's a hell of a lot of girls who are there, and if you look at our website today where we've covered that, you'll see pictures of the mixed sides that are going on, and I think that's fantastic.
To the match day experience, we have got an exclusive for you two a little bit later as well. Usually we expect you guys to come in with big news. We might have a little bit of news for you towards the very end. Just make people listen longer. There you go. Going into the new season, we want just to catch up with kind of where we left off. And there's just one more question. Obviously, this could be slightly more on the silly side with Stephen.
Yep, well, it was I class myself as a bit of an expert on these matters. We'd spoken about the pre-season barbecue. I'm just curious to know what was served, and also how important was it for maybe new players and their families to get to be involved in that?
Well, from a food perspective, it was burgers,
Nice.
Sausages, chicken, bit of salad as well. I think there's a bit of potato salad. Remember, I don't know. I don't have that stuff because I'm keto, obviously. But and and there was the normal drinks flowing for those who were not first team players or academy scholars who probably weren't old enough to drink as well. But it was good, and James will be able to cover us what it means to the families and new players for settling in.
It's important because it's important to know that we're that family orientated club that the players need to be aware of, which is what we are, and for them to get to know everybody, and it helps as well when you put faces to the people they talk about all the time, their children, their wives, And also they get faces when I talk about my girls, so they get to see them as well and what I got put up with. So it's good for them to see. So if I come in grumpy, then they probably know why. So when they see them running around and causing havoc, but they are very good girls.
Yeah, I got to admit, I think it's something
well
that-
recovered.
Yeah, I think it's something that you really do really well, don't you? The family ethos around the club, and you've spoken about it before, Gavin, and I think that you deserve credit for the environment that you've created in the club. I think.
Well, I mean, I think it's important that we live it out. I mean, we talked earlier on about the culture, and though Ian rightly slapped me earlier on about getting into that, but I just looked today in the shop. The shop today really made me proud because it epitomised what we're all about. You had Mickey Demetrio and Matty Dolan there in their full away kit. Talk about getting into the spirit of what we asked them to do. But not only that, then you had 4 or 5 other players turn up. And, you had all the volunteers in the shop. The shop was absolutely buzzing. And, the queue, the kids' smiles on their faces, and parents, who were happy to buy the home kit, the away kit, and all the rest of it. And I think it really had a great spirit around it. We had a media lad in there, capturing the moment. And you see that again on our website. And that stuff is really, really important to do.
Yeah, and you get to see what it means to people, because we did some season ticket deliveries the other day, which me and Matty went to 2 different houses, and both of them, it's just that you can see the pleasure on their faces when they get one. I never thought people would be happy to see me. And then,
We're
so that
happy.
was, you are.
Yeah. We're happy.
So it was that was good to see, because we've been off for a while, but it was what we did around that, and the initiative from the football club and the lads going out of their way like they did to drop off the season tickets was something really, really nice for them. And I said it to lads when we went away for pre-season. We had a camp away, and we had a barbecue there, just the players and the staff, and the feel to the club. And I mean this from an internal perspective and an external perspective, is the best I've experienced in my senior football environment. So the 8 years I was at Cardiff, it felt similar to the year we got promoted to the Premier League, with the group feel, but also the feel around it, because leading up to the season there was expectation. You weren't quite sure where you were going to be, what we're going to do, and what you're going to achieve, because it's a new squad. It's built again because the manager came in through a certain point in the season, then a chance to build with his own players, and it's got that feel to it. And the group that we've got and the culture, which we had a really good culture anyway, but now we've got an excellent culture. So I think we developed and enhanced it with the work that we've done. So I haven't felt anything like it, both on and off the pitch, and the support from above, which is really, really important as well.
Can you put your finger on it? What is it that's making these group of new individuals and old individuals gel?
Common goal.
Yeah, and
It's
that's
common goal.
just been very clear.
Yeah, it's clear what we want to do. I won't go through that in details, but we're clear with our goal. It's not, we haven't got a dream of what we want to do. It's a goal, and there's a plan to that goal.
Okay.
And we're sticking to that, and that's when we come in those dark moments, and we're going to bump heads at times. We'll bump heads as a chairman and manager. We'll bump heads as players and managers and staff. That's healthy, because you're trying to progress and move forward. So we've got a goal that we're going to stick to, and we've got a plan that we're going to work towards, and that's we're all clear on it. There's no grey areas, and that's important.
And that really stems from the board downwards and runs right away through the club, and that's why that away afternoon that we had was really, really important. And when we started off that away afternoon, it was my wife who facilitated it for us. She does that kind of stuff as a living, and she told that little story about some visitors who went along to NASA, and there was a guy there, and they said to him, "What do you do?" And he said, "I send people to space," and he was a cleaner. And the point that she was making to the whole audience there, you may well be sitting here thinking, hang on, I do this, I do X, Y, and Z, what do you do? Well, actually, I contribute to the team winning football games on a Saturday and a Tuesday. So everybody plays a part. And, credit to James, since he's come in, he said exactly that in all his interviews. If you look, he's been very clear in terms of that. And if you speak to the staff behind the scenes, they value that. There's no doubt about that. But that's living out that one club, one county. And that doesn't happen overnight. You've got to buy into it. You've got to make it work. And I think that we've got a group right the way through the club who want that to happen.
You might have seen me check my phone then. The reason being is that your wife messaged me last time, Gav, halfway through the show, and I was being very good at not checking my phone because I think that's quite unprofessional. And I got out of there. I thought, oh no, I'm so sorry. So apologies last time. We were live on the radio, and I didn't reply in a timely manner. In fact, I don't think I replied at all because I was too
Was she
scared of
asking
it.
for the milk?
What milk? There's no milk here.
Well, Claire knows what I'm talking about.
So you guys, we've caught up, which is brilliant. Now this is where we've got the listener questions coming in a little bit more, and kind of we really want to get down to the nuts and bolts of this brand new season that's ahead of us. So who better to start us off on this one than the boy wonder?
You talked about Stephen Howe.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, my question is to James, and it's what we call a naughty question, probably. Do you know your strongest 11 yet?
I spoke to Tony Pulis today because he phoned me to see how I was doing and a catch up, and I said that we've gone on a smaller squad this year because we wanted to invest as best as we can within the team. So we've gone a smaller squad rather than with 7 strikers and spreading the resource across 7. You spread it across 3 or 4, and I've got at this minute 21 players that we can rely on. And I think that's important, that it's not just about the starting 11. The starting 11 that plays Saturday won't be the starting 11 that plays every game. That's the thing. So in certain positions, that might be different. But as a general principle, with the way that we play and the way that we do things, we're going to have to make changes at times. So I know what my team is for Saturday. But which I'm not going to tell you. No. Come on, Luke, you're better than that.
Oh, wait till
I know.
It's coming.
So I know, and we know what our team is for Saturday. That's we're clear on that. The team will be totally different than when we play Walsall, in some ways. And then the team, well, it might not be different, but you have to bear in mind that it might be, or it might not be. But there's going to have to make changes along the way. Then we play Luton, there's going to have to be changes. Then Bradford, etc., etc. So we've got to do that, and also we've got to do that because we've got a strong enough squad in there to be able to do it now with what we've got.
So is it perceived wisdom in football that you need to, because it seems to be a thing that you need to start with roughly the same 11 every single game, which seems crazy to me because you've got different challenges off different teams. So how do you manage that?
The players?
Yeah.
Well, it's that's
and the fans.
Yeah, well on the players, first of all, it's ultimately we're paid to do a job, so that's that. But you want people to love what they do and enjoy what they do and give them reasons. They might not always happy with the reasons, but at least I give them a reason. And then with the fans is that we're always picking a team to try and win a game. So we pick a team that we feel is always going to help win that game. So we've analysed Sutton as best we can with what we've got available, because obviously it's pre-season, so it's hard to do it. But we're clear with the team that we pick for Saturday is a team that we believe can win. So every time we put a team out, it's a team we believe we can win. So whether that's in the Papa John's, whether that's in the Carabao, whether that's in the FA Cup, we're going to win every game. Man, it's simple.
Is the second game a bit weird because you don't know what they're going to be like because there's no evidence, there's no videos, there's no
we've got.
So how do you prepare for that with the team?
I think it's where we've advanced a little bit. We've managed to get games of the opposition, or we sent people to watch the games. So, I don't think they'll come away much from what they did last year. So, it's the myth that I think sometimes people think we just turn up on a Saturday and just hopefully pick a team that's going to win it just by luck. But there's a lot of thought that goes into it in regards to certain statistics. So the stats for them won't change much from last year. The style won't particularly change much from last year. So we prepare like we do for every game. Not as much video footage as what we normally get, but that's why we've sent people to games to go and watch them, to people who I trust that can give me the detail.
Getting so many questions I want to ask you guys, and it's impossible for you to answer some of them because you've got to keep it under wraps and stuff. And some of them are just crazy questions, and we're not going to go anywhere near them either. Any indication of how you're going to set up your team for this first game? Can you give us anything on that? Is it going to be a very similar sort of setup? Yeah,
well, the way of play won't change. The way of play won't change. Is how we try to build and how we try to be progressive in the way that we do it. The system. Let's make. Everybody knows we play 3-5-2 all pre-season, so I'll be daft if I go and play 4-box-2 on Saturday. But we know we've got flexibility within that because the personnel that we got. We have a way of play, and it's not necessarily systems. It's the strategy within the system, if that makes sense. Yeah.
No, brilliant. That's probably better as far as I'm going to push on that one.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm too frightened of pushing too hard on that.
Yeah, well, talking about the systems, you obviously had a week away. I was just going to ask you, how important was that week away for developing, the what you expected from the players and what you had planned for this season?
So important. So important. And that's why we pushed it as much as what we could to get that early, but also get the signings in early so we could do our double sessions, so we could do our classroom-based sessions, so we could do our individual meetings where we did our development plans with the players. That was key to where we needed to be. But also then it was a time for lads to get to know each other with the barbecue that they had there, with the things that we did around it. It's a lot of planning's gone into it. So it's done within a certain way and a certain structure to try and get the best out of the team.
You talk about players coming in before the pre-season got underway. How important is that for the team gelling and bonding off the pitch and obviously on the pitch as well?
Yeah, it was. I've experienced it before when players are coming late, and it's sometimes difficult. With certain players, we're gonna have to wait for that because the one that we want, not the one, but the one position that we need to fill, that I feel as though we need to fill, we're gonna have to wait. That I can see that going down to the wire, which I think it will. That's just one of those things that the way that football works with the market that we're in with this type of player. And we did that with the signings before me last year when, I can't remember the exact date that Finn came in, when Ollie came in and when Jake came in. They were a lot later in the window because of the clubs they're at. But with regards to the team gelling together, it's important in that time that we did it, and we did it early. We did it really early, and a conscious fact is that biggest fact is I'm so impatient that I needed the work to be done. We needed the work to be done to be able to work with a team. But then also it takes all excuses away for me. So I can't say, well, I haven't had the team for that long.
Yeah.
So I haven't had the team, so I'm not going to turn and say. And I think that's in many ways me putting my neck on the block because I want to try and work with a team that's going to give us success and make the fans really proud of what we're trying to do. And that's what, if I was a supporter and my manager said that, then I'd be delighted.
But added to that as well, James, I think, as you know, before the season had completed, we broadly had our plans in place in how you wanted to execute that, and with Darren as the sporting director, with those kind of what is the approach, what's the strategy, and so on and so forth. And I mean, we're obviously already in very much that implementation phase before the season had even ended in that respect. I mean, one of the players who ended up signing for us was at one of our games when we played against Port Vale, for instance. So that planning had started very, very early in terms of what we needed, why we needed it, how we needed it, and all the rest of it. And that then makes it easy for everybody in terms, certainly from a board perspective. We know where the investment's going to be going. We know what we can afford, what we can't afford. We've got to process this in place. The due diligence that Darren has done on James' behalf as well has been second to none in terms of that. And we're delighted with the way that the window has worked as a result.
Because I'll meet with every player.
Yeah.
So, and that'll be on at least one or two occasions. That'll be phone calls. But I have to know for my peace of mind the character because and their coachability. But they need to know, can they be our fit as well? So we need to know that first and foremost they give maximum effort for our supporters to be proud of. And they need to be aware of that. And that was something that I'd spoke to some players on at least 10 different occasions during the times prior to them signing. One, to get to know them properly, but also for them to get to know our way of play, and with certain video footage they would get sent and how we would work. But we made 8 signings. We're not going to get all of them right, and they're all not going to make Premier League players, and we have to remember that. We are in League 2. So we're trying to develop certain individuals as well because of that younger age. But what they are is young and hungry, and they want to do well and they want to be successful. And it's our job to teach them the rest.
And I think those people who came along to our Meet the Manager evening as well. Obviously, there was an interview with James, and then Darren did a bit on how we've been going about our business. And I think people were in the audience were really quite excited in terms of the way that the approach has been deployed, stats, with the due diligence and everything else that comes with it. But one of the other biggest factors as well, and Darren has said himself, it makes his job so much easier, is that the presentations that James puts together, which always says to the player, and this is what I'm going to do for you. This is how I'm going to help you as a person, but I'm be a better player. What I'm going to help you in terms of your development. I've watched this. And I think that then, people thinking, wow, this is different. I haven't had these conversations with other managers before. It's not just about what I'm going to do for them. It's what they're going to do for me. And then the other bits and bobs that come along with it all put that jigsaw puzzle in nicely, which is why I say for us as a board, it's made it a delight in terms of the way the windows work for us.
It's really reminiscent of what you said last time, Gavin, about the interviewing James and then going to watch a game and seeing exactly what James was talking about. As all that prep work that, James, you put into that interview, are you doing that with almost every single player that you're going to recruit? Are you kind of watching as much as you can and coming up with a literal bad pun game plan for them?
I think so. I think so, because the best thing to ever happen to me was having kids, because I think they were what I want to have for my children. So that's why I try and give the lads as best as I can. So even though I'm only 37, is that I still treat those lads as if they're my own. Like I can't exactly be old enough to be the father of Mickey Demetrio, but the point is that
let me just say, there's a state of mind here.
I would treat him as if he was my own family and want him to do well. Is my point on that. So it's different with the younger lads, but is the point is I want them all to do well.
Luke looked really surprised when you said you were only 37.
it's the hair.
Luke has no appreciation of age at the moment. He'll get there. James, I know we're asking lots of questions. Gav, we have got some coming for you, but obviously this is the meat of it, isn't it? It's start of a new season. So one from our volunteer Dan as well. Out of the way, he's dropped me right in it with this one. Okay. So here we go. Where are the goals going to come from this season? There's an obvious.
I look at it this way, right? So with Dom going, Dom had scored 2 goals before I came in.
Yeah.
So I look, and I mean that in a respectful way to previous, is that Dom wasn't playing. Dom started to play more when Wayne took caretaker, was playing in the team with Courtney. Courtney didn't play that many games prior to it either because of his injury. And then Finn Azaz wasn't playing. And then these lads started playing within a system, within a structure that suited them. I think the chairman about me is I'm very humble, but I know the value of work that we can add. So bringing Omar Bogle in, bringing a friend of Zinzala, bringing in Chanka Zimba, having Lewis Collins, Will Evans who can play left wing back and up front. I genuinely believe we can make them better. And with Omar and Chanka I've worked with before, so I know already their traits. So I think where the goals come from the team, and it could be a year where, like when the year we got to the playoffs, and I say we, I wasn't in manager, but I class it as we because I'm a supporter. But Matty Dolan was a top goal scorer with 8 goals.
Yeah.
So if I'll take that now if we get promoted, I'll take that all day long. Is it the style that ultimately? The style and the statistics will get us there, but obviously to get us over the line is winning football matches, and there's certain elements that I think people will see that we've added to our game this year. So trying to get more clean sheets.
How important is it then to, because what you said, absolutely, it's the whole team. How important is it to have a strike partnership back in the old days, sharing them in Shearer and stuff like that? How important is that, and have you got one yet? All two?
I think we've got the 4 strikers that we've talked about, and our class will in that as well. They all give something different. They all give what they do. What I think what we have got more of now is a greater physicality on our front line. So the ability to press, the ability to hold up. Sometimes we can just go straight into the front when teams come and press us with our style. Now we've got another dimension where we can go in to Omar or Oz early, and they can hold the ball up, and we can get runners off that. So we've got 2 dimensions to our game. We've got the build, which I think we're really good at, but now we've got that ball straight into the striker, which Oz and Omar and Chanka can run in behind, Lewis can run in behind, and you've got that out and out pace then. The dynamic is there, and it'll be different partnerships at different times to suit different games. And that's the thing. So, and the other thing we've got as well this year, which is brilliant, is that we can use 5 subs from 7. And with our style and the way that we play, being front-footed, being aggressive, that helps us massively. I really do think that's a big thing for us this year. I'd rather have 5 from 9, but we've got, and I'm always greedy, but we got 5 from 7. So that helps massively for us. Really does.
So you're a big favourite of that change then?
Oh, huge.
Great.
I think it's a massive. For me, during COVID, it was a game changer, and that was my biggest thing at Cardiff, that we learned that we would have lads on for 60 minutes and run, and you know you're running flat out for 60 minutes, and you know you've got another 5 who can come on for the team. You're changing half a team, and it just makes a difference, and that's where the importance, going back to the pre-season, of the lads getting to know everybody in the system and the way of playing, getting to know each other. So we had a chat the other day as a group about different things, and Matty Dolan said to Omar, the most important thing for me is that I get to know you personally, know what makes you tick, know what makes you work. And that for me was a light bulb moment to go, we're in business here.
I'm glad it's not 5 from 9, because it'll cost us a fortune. The overnight.
You would say that. Who can drive on the day?
How much transport costs would that go up by? Gavin, take a drink, because we're coming to you in a couple of seconds. Before that, again, it's got heavy. Let's go in with a bit more of a lighter question.
Yeah, obviously we're probably about halfway through the current season of Love Island.
Yeah.
At the moment.
No, we're coming to the end.
Are we?
We're coming
Yeah,
to
it's
the
the
end.
last week, mate.
You can tell I don't watch it.
Mrs. Rowberry watches it. Let me just make that clear.
You told me you watched it.
Yeah, I do as well.
I'll confess, there isn't a Mrs. Lamsey, and I know it's the last couple of days.
Come on, look, what question you got for me?
I'm going to go and hang my head in shame now.
We've
Well,
seen
both of you, actually, so it's fine.
He won't watch it.
I haven't got a clue.
You won't need to.
Barry Island, maybe.
we've seen Jamie Allen of FC Halifax go to the Villa. So my question.
He left last night, though, mate.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, this is going well.
It is. My question anyway is, if you could send one county player at the moment in the current squad to the Villa, who would it be?
Before you answer, have a bit of thinking time. Let me put a couple of disclaimers on this one, right? One, obviously, you might know if they got partners, you might know if they haven't got partners. It's not.
Oh, it's nothing to do with that. No.
There's people listening. We're not asking on that basis.
Yeah.
We're probably looking at kind of like who could potentially win Love Island. So that doesn't mean that they're kind of like a bit cocky, a bit brash.
No.
It probably means they're generally
Can
nice
I give you
person.
Can I give you 2?
Yeah.
It will be Priestley, and I reckon Declan.
Okay.
I could see those two, to be honest.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
There you
Gav.
go.
Gav?
He hasn't got a clue.
I haven't got a clue. I don't even know what's Love Island. I don't even know what you're on about. But what I was going to say, it's got to be Priestley, because he fits the whole kind of way that kind of program works in that respect. And I always think Declan, what a good-looking boy Declan is. I always think to myself is that if Declan's no good on the field, we can hire him out as a Disney prince. No doubt about that.
I can't believe you said that.
Why not? What's wrong with that? I'm just thinking of other ways to bring in revenue streams for the club.
Absolutely, all commercial avenues can be done.
He did say in that event, didn't he, that he was, what was the prince name off Shrek? Come out and said that was
Prince
his thing.
Charming.
He did, yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
wasn't
he did Prince Charming.
Yeah,
he said
did,
he could play the part of Prince Charming.
Because we don't want to carry on this season. Whenever we've had players on the show before, it's kind of, I can't remember who started it off. It got kicked off somehow with lookalikes, and it's kind of got a rolling effect through it. So obviously Dom Telford was the geezer
Peter
from
Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage. Thank you very much. I can't remember where we went from there, but it just snowballed on. So I don't know we're going to carry on with that. But there are a lot of mascot firms in Newport, so if you need to let him out and basically make a bit of extra cash for the club, there we go, Prince Charming, job done.
Also Christmas time with the Christmas pantomimes.
Absolutely,
Well,
yes.
that's what he agreed to do at that away day, didn't he? He agreed with Bob and Susan that he'd go down to the kids' Christmas party.
Did he?
I'm pretty sure he did.
Oh, fair play to him.
So, fair play.
Okay, with my opinion around that one. Okay, look to Gav.
Yeah, my question to Gavin. Finally got a question, Gavin. We've seen some new EFL rules come into effect over the summer. Can you just run through what they are for us, please?
I'm assuming you're alluding to the fan side of life for you in terms of that. Yeah. So, if you remember back to last season, there were quite a number of quite unsavoury incidents in the playoff games where, crowds invaded pitches and there were players who were attacked and so on and so forth. And I think over the summer the EFL and indeed the whole of the football community has looked at these things and said, look, we need to address it. And I think generally since a post-COVID type activity, some of the behaviours have gone in the direction that perhaps football clubs and indeed the authorities don't want to move towards. So they've kind of looked at it and said, look, we need to use a blunt instrument, and the blunt instrument they've come up with is the fact that if fans do invade pitches, it is illegal anyway, but they will be banned if they use pyrotechnics or take smoke bombs, whatever it may well be, into stadiums. They will be banned as well. And I think the authorities just felt they needed a bit of a statement on this because of the stuff that happened at the back end of some of the playoff games, and it was discussed at the conference, and these are the rules that they've come out with, and of course as a member club that's what we'll be abiding by.
Yeah, my next question for you, Gavin, is what are the next steps in the club's progression off the field? Have you been working on anything, or is there anything you would like to?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things on that, Steve. I mean, firstly, I think last season you would have seen our match day experience has improved immensely, and credit to all those involved in that, led by our director Joe Crocker. And there's going to be more of that this year. There's a real push around the fan zone that we've got. Obviously you guys play a really important part in that. I know that Rodney Parade colleagues have been hard working on that with some of the improvements and putting some new bars, etc., in place on that, and we want to make it that family environment. That's what we want it to do. It attracts the next generation of supporters. It keeps the supporters today who are really happy with what's going on over there come as well. And we've had some really good pre-match entertainment over there with yourselves, with new bands who get blood over there as well. And what we're trying to do is to create that pre-match entertainment, and also make it more of an experience. All right, you got the 90 minutes, that's what people go to watch, but you want to go there and kind of go, I've been there a couple of hours before, I enjoyed it, I saw a game, I listened to a band, I listened to you guys talking, I saw the players who were not involved come over as well, I had some photographs. That whole match day experience, and that builds on the family excellence side of life that we're looking at the EFL measures us on. And I think the other thing as well is around the commercial strategy. Our commercial strategy is pretty clear in terms of what it is, i.e. our local strategy with local firms and promoting them in the right way and adding value to their business. And you would have seen today, we're pulling new firms on board more and more, and that's great for us as the area. They buy into the club, we're buying into them, and it's back to that family values that we talked, and of course ultimately that generates both those strands generate revenue for you, and if you can generate that revenue, we can push the boundaries of where we'd like to be as a club.
And it's that feel-good factor as well, isn't it? Imagine if you're going to go in to watch a game and you're already happy and smiling and enjoying yourself. It's going to rub off on James, you and the players and stuff like that. With that in mind, I can give you a bit of a commitment and probably give you the bit of the exclusive. We're going to try our very best at Newport City Radio to make sure that we've got more live singers. Obviously, last season we were just out of COVID. Everyone was just a bit trying to get their acts together in terms of musicians. So I'm going to try and make a commitment to you both that we're going to have more live music over there. And the bar staff over there were amazing last season. Sometimes the bands have been a little bit too loud, but we haven't had any of that last season. So I'm willing to go and push the boat out a little bit. So we got some great performers giving up their time for free as well.
Fantastic.
Starting off with Tinty and the Bucket Hats. We had to start with
and
them.
they've got a new song out tomorrow, haven't they?
They have, and we just thought we had to do it. And Jack Parrott isn't far first, because we normally start with Jack Parrott, well, yeah. So Jack will be not far down that first couple of home games that we've got. But there's breaking news tonight. Tinty and the Bucket Hats.
Good. Yeah, we welcome that. They're a great set of lads, good supporters of us as well. And that's fantastic news, and thanks to everybody for supporting us in the way you have last season, and we look forward to it this season as well.
Yeah, and they're lovely guys. We went down to see the gig on the Transporter Bridge, and I can't believe in all the Transporter Bridge history, no band has actually played on that gondola.
Really?
That was just shocking.
Wow.
Gave me ideas.
Wow.
They're thinking, right, okay, there's one for the future. Make a mental note of that one. Okay, silly question time. So, budget's running at Newport City Radio. There's no cups this time, guys. I'm so sorry. There's no Newport County branded beach towels. There's no bucket hats, sadly. But what there is, I am the leading expert in Newport nightlife. So, following on from the question that we had last time round, which is food-based, let's come away from that. You two find yourselves in Newport of a Friday or Saturday night.
Well, it won't be a Friday night.
International breaks.
Yeah.
We don't get them.
No, yeah. There's Christmas. There's a pre-Christmas thing. We
Okay.
spotted that.
All right. Okay.
World Cup break.
I know that because I'm trying to book a week off. that week there. So you on a break when you're not playing close season, you find yourself in Newport on a Friday or Saturday night. More likely to be a Saturday night. What would entice you? What is a good night out for you? Because I'm going to give you both a recommendation of nightlife because I know nightlife in Newport. So I thought the least I could do is guide you both today on where to go for a good night out. And I won't be biased. I won't mention my bar all the time. I say my bar, the bar I DJ in.
Yeah.
So, Gav, what is a good night out for you? What are you looking for? How can I help, mate?
God, I'm 52 years of age.
Don't worry about that.
Don't
That's
worry
fine.
about that.
Age ain't never but a number.
52. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I didn't know whether you know that. I haven't mentioned that before. I actually quite, and this is reflective of me and my age, but I do enjoy having an evening out of the pod. That's me. That's where I
You're
like
not
to
supposed
go.
to pick the venue. I'm supposed to pick the venue.
You didn't explain that very well.
I know, I didn't, did I?
No.
Okay, well,
You tell me
so
what you're
what you wanna go
I'm
to.
gonna
all
match
right.
your
So
venue.
my thing is, let's say, if I was on a night out and I was being forced to do it, I generally would like a bit of 80s type music, maybe. I don't mind a couple of bottles of wine because I do like a glass of wine, as James knows from recent times. I'm not into 10 pints of Stella or whatever anymore. I just can't cope with it, to be honest. So I don't know where that would put me.
In the
In
pod.
bed.
It put you in the pod. So well done. You have found your natural home in Newport. Well done. I would say music-wise, maybe you would come with me to Atlantica's because we do a bit of 80s and 90s stuff. So maybe I could find a little
James
home
told
with
me
you
about
there.
that place earlier on, and I don't think I would go there.
Wow, you don't know it until you try it.
Yeah, I guess I do.
I'll look after you.
What,
You know-
I'd be stuck in a DJ booth with you all night.
No, I wouldn't put you into that pressure. You can come and have a good night out.
What do you
I'll
play
my
in
best.
there, though?
I play everything.
Like
Yeah.
what, though?
Well,
Give us a
you-
flavour of it.
Right, so any minute it can change, right? So I'm a crowd reader. So 1 minute you could be getting something as silly as Steps and ABBA and all that kind of stuff.
Nothing wrong with that.
Next minute you can have really, really cool up front. So there's brand new Beyonce tune, Break My Soul, brilliant. Yeah, absolutely great tune. Great song by MNEK at the moment that's been out a couple of weeks. Where Did You Go? Be playing that a little bit as well. So it depends on who I've got in front of me. But yeah, we go down the Whitney Houston, we do a bit of 80s, a bit of like Uptown Girl, bit of Karma Chameleon. And then sometimes, if it's really needed, we go down the route of Hi Ho Silver Lining and
Oh,
stuff
you
like
can't
that.
fault
So
that.
so
there you
there's
go.
a good mix.
Did you?
It's a good mix.
Did you know that one of our ex-players is married to somebody who was in S Club?
No, I
Did
didn't.
you know that? Do you know that, Luke?
No?
See, there we are. That's something for you
Luke's
to
wondering
find
what an
out.
S Club is. He's
Yeah.
Luke's
Club
wondering what,
7.
he's wondering what an S Club is. Stephen's still waiting for the Venga bus. So yeah, I think the pod is a good place.
Yeah,
so
lovely.
there you go.
Thank you for that.
James, what is a good night out
Oh.
for you? So give me what you need, and I'll give you the bar.
Bit of tapas, bit of red wine, bit of live music.
Okay, yeah, I think you're going more towards Tiny Rebel area there. I think.
No.
No.
I probably like Monarch on the pod.
Ah, yeah, over the other side of the,
Yeah.
right on the other side. Yeah,
Yeah.
Horton's is nice. I like,
Yeah,
I like,
Hortons.
I
yeah,
like, I
And
like
what's
coffee in
the
Hortons.
coffee shop on the corner as well?
Oh yeah,
Coffee Quarters?
Quarters.
Yes, yeah, of course it is.
quarters.
Yeah.
I got some plugs in for them tonight.
yeah.
Free coffee for the rest of the season.
I pay for my coffee.
The Newport City Radio bank account numbers are 20, 60, 50. Brilliant. Okay, I tried to help. I think I failed miserably, but there we go. Back onto the brand new season then. So let's talk about new sign-ins, the whole recruitment, the whole database and the whole knowledge base behind it. Cymru Chris has put a question to us. I think I'm probably going to slightly reword it a little bit. In terms of the new players coming in, some of them you've met before and
Yes.
seen before.
Yes.
So how does that work? Because there's a database. Talk me through it. So I think Chris might be misunderstanding it a little
Yeah,
bit.
so they're in the database.
Yeah, absolutely.
So players that we select are done on. I have to know certain lads as well that we've got, and if they hit a certain criteria that we want to play for the football club, then it's even better if I know them and I've worked with them.
I see that as a strength.
So I see
Yeah.
it as a strength in it. So if you look at Sam was on our radar from January, Sam Bowen, Declan obviously I haven't worked with previously, but he was on our radar for January anyway. Chanka we had talked about before, and then having Carl work with him for a little bit longer than me because of time at Cardiff. So and Omar's Omar's got a proven track record of 100+ goals. He's had £1 million move. So, whether I know him or not is important as well. But it's a case of I do know them, but they're also hitting the criteria and the metrics that we want to play for us. So, if you look, didn't know Adam Lewis, didn't know Declan Drysdale, didn't know Oz. I'm trying to think who else. Obviously knew Sam, knew Chanka.
Wildig?
I never worked with Aaron, so that was the other one from Carr. Didn't work with Aaron. I obviously know a lot about Aaron because of being at Morecambe and playing in the playoff final against us, and then scoring the FA Cup against us. I've always watched Aaron. I've always liked Aaron. I've always thought good player. I think that his experience and his know-how helps us with that. And I can't remember the other lads I ever mentioned, but there's a few that I work with, and I think I see it as a strength rather than a weakness.
How's Cal settling in? Is he enjoying it?
Cal?
Yeah,
he loves it.
So when Newport accent came out, then
Cal.
Cal.
He's
He's really say pound. I say pound, not pound.
Yeah, like the rest of my staff, he's how I always look at it is that if I'm never there, can they deliver what needs to be done? And they can. So that's the important thing. So I think we spoke about it, me and the chairman before, about I think that's a good thing about management and leadership, is that you build a resilience around you where things work no matter what, and that's what we got to do. But also you got to credit players in that as well, to go, they know what's required, and we keep working towards that goal in what we got. So going back to the database thing, is that not thing, shouldn't describe it as that, but the database question is that if I know I'm even better.
Yeah.
Can I add is that as a for us as a club, we've gone down the sporting director model for a reason. And that database that we've got, that the club now owns, is a really integral part of that. And as Darren said at his presentation he gave, there's over 2,000 odd players in there. They fit our philosophy, our patterns of play, which is why when James came in, he very much fitted what we wanted to do as well, and he builds on that, and that gives the club then that resilience. Because one of the biggest challenges in football, of course, and you've seen this many times over the years, that when a manager goes or a head coach goes, all of a sudden everything starts rocking in a way. They take X with them, take Y with them, because they want to progress and go on, and everybody understands that. The whole point of this model is that it gives you that stability. Yeah. That's exactly what it does, and that's why we decided we wanted to go down that model some time ago, and we're building that infrastructure that sits behind that then. So I hope James is here for a very, very long time, and we progress together as a club. But as well, if we're doing well, then that then puts James in the shop window for people to kind of go, that guy is doing something down there, we should be looking at him, is he on our radar, etc. And we've got to make sure as a club that we've got something that's sustainable right the way through, and that's where our performance model comes in terms of that. And it's no different in any other business. We just hadn't operated that way previously, and we do now.
Whatever happens is that I want to, and it's more to the fact because I'm from the area and because of my affinity to the club, because of my grandfather, my dad, me supporting the club, knowing what it means to the city for the club to do well, is that whatever happens to me, good, bad or indifferent, I hope, it'd have to be good, because I want to leave the club in a better place than where I found it. And the club was in a relatively good place, but I want to leave it in an even better place, and I want to make something that everybody goes, well, James Rowberry had a part in that.
Yeah.
And I think that's and that'll be the same for the chairman, that'll be the same for the board of directors, and I want that to be the same for Carl, my assistant, Jared, first team coach, Jim, goalkeeping coach, OB, Tom, Ryan, the kit men, the secretary, the general manager, everybody to go, well, they've had a part in playing, making this football club better.
Yeah, and I think that's really important in terms of that, because obviously people leave businesses, people come to businesses, and ultimately it is a business in that respect. But I think that's why it's really important for us that we're putting that infrastructure in place that's sitting behind, that we're managing all the risks that can be associated to running a business.
Obviously, our job is to try and find out things off you both, and we know that there's certain grounds that we can go on, but we got a Luke, so it's
Go
fine.
on and look what you got.
Wilfred Boney.
He's not signing.
Short and sweet.
I've known Wilf was training here when I first come in. Then he went away to Holland. Then he contacted me last week asking me to come in training, and because he's such a good guy and he trains really well, and we manage him in certain elements of session, he is just training with us. He won't be signing for Newport County in the window. I don't see that happening.
So it's funny when he says, because I got sent, I think, that you probably the same thing that you guys have seen on social media. So you get things sent to you. Somebody sent it, and I sent it to him because I think somebody was saying on there that I've heard that he's signing this week and he's getting launched with the away kit. Well, of course, the away kit was launched today, and he wasn't signed because he isn't signing. It's as simple as that. There's your exclusive that we always talk about.
Not in
the way you want it.
What I will say about him, when he's around the building, he's great with the lads.
Yeah.
I've got to say that he's had £50 million worth of moves, and he can teach the lads things that I can't.
Well, I think when people
So
saw
that's the
that,
thing that we've got.
people saw it at the open training session yesterday when he was there helping the strikers and showing them X and showing us Y. And as James said, you can't buy that that kind of experience and the environments he's been in. So it's great for the club. It's good for him as an individual, and he's a decent fella as well.
He's a great fella.
Yeah. Is he interested in doing coaching badges? Maybe.
I think long term he will be.
Yeah.
I might have missed some here, so apologies if I've missed some of the script down on not literally our script, but the script with the history of all this. How is he there? So
Sorry, he was there. He was training before I came in.
Yeah.
And then he had obviously then gone to Holland, and he contacted me last week to see if he could come and train. So I went, yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Simple as that.
Great. Fantastic. So we tried to. I think we got an answer there, which is
Which
bizarre
is no.
because we're going to chip away. We're going to chip away at James for a minute, and we thought, right, okay, we'll try that one. So again, listeners, they're important to us, James.
Yes, they are.
And if they ask a question, sometimes we just got to ask it back.
You
So
have.
here we go. So does James feel that we're as strong as last season? And any news on final signings from Andy Lawrence?
Are we strong as last season? I hope so, because that's my job to try and make us better. I back my ability to make us better. So proof will be in the pudding on it when we get to May the whatever it is, May the I don't know the exact date when we play Crew at home to know where we're at. But one thing I know is that we have given our maximum effort to try and be the best we can possibly be to make our supporters proud, and that's what you got with me is that we're going to give our all. Because first and foremost I want the club to be successful.
Into the final bit. I don't know about you guys, but the release of the fixtures on that day was more interesting for me than anybody else, I think, apart from probably you two, in terms of the fact that I didn't want Newport County playing at home on the 6th of August, because of the Maindy Music Festival. Didn't want Newport County playing at home on the 3rd of September because it's Pride in the Port. I'd already committed to go and do some stuff up there with them. And the 24th of September, which is the Maindy Living Green Fair, which I'm also committed to as well.
Right.
All three. All three were at home. So I don't know about you two about the fixture release day, but my fixture release day I kind of hid for the rest of the day in quite a bad mood. I don't do bad moves. I was in a bad mood. Luckily, it's all turned out fine because we got strength in depth with these guys, my team of volunteers, and we're all going to be good. What was that day like for you two?
I always look for where we're at Christmas. That's the only one I look at is know where we are Christmas Eve, because when I was ever at Cardiff I was always away, so that meant I was always away Christmas Day. A little bit different here, but we will travel on the day. But I always look to see where we are for Boxing Day. That's the only other one I look at really, and then because we got to play everybody anyway. So I go. Everyone goes, "Oh, it's a tough run, and this bit's going to be difficult." Well, we've got to play them all. So and then we got the cup games and that, and it's we play them when we play them, and we get on with it.
Yeah, I kind of have a different, similar feel to it in that respect. I think it's always exciting. I think it is always exciting. I mean, ultimately I'm a fan of the club, and you're really keen to see who you're going to be playing and when. And there's certain trips you really enjoy, and the home games and so on and so forth. and I think James is right. You've got to play everybody twice at some point in the season. You could look at some things to say, and you never quite know. I mean, where the bookies are kind of tipping what they believe to be the strong teams. Do you want to play them earlier? There's lots of different factors that come along with it. I mean, one of the things I think that I was kind of pleased about is our first game, it being away at Sutton. And, I think when we look back at that game last season, I think it was one of those games that, quite frankly, despite the way that we played, which I thought was very good on the day, it was one of those games we looked like we were never gonna win with various things that were going on, and I think that's still probably fresh in people's mind who are around. So that it's a good one to start off with in that, and also it's not a massive one from a travel perspective. So you almost kind of, it's not a Hartlepool or Carlisle or whatever it may well be. So, and also then I think the other fact then we've got a number of home games that come along with that. Although you look at August and, when you start chucking in the Papa John's thing, there's a hell of a lot of games in a very short period of time. And, I just think people are excited to be back. Everybody loves that fixture day, and we try to do some stuff around that. We're doing a hell of a lot of travelling this year, and credit to those fans who will be there on that Saturday up in Carlisle and the Tuesday nights in various different places and go to Grimsby. They will be doing some significant travelling. Right, it is like a League 2 North this year, and we can't speak highly enough, and I know that James and indeed the team and the support they get from those people at those matches means an awful lot, and hopefully the team can repay that by good performances and wins.
Yeah, and that's kind of where we are at the moment. We're now kind of definitely thinking about the fans and thinking about you two, which we'll come on to in a second. But it's anything in life that is that routine, isn't it? And for a couple of weeks, not so long this time, but a couple of weeks of the year, you haven't got that routine. And some people are just absolutely gagging to get back into that whole routine of going to watch Newport County play, and we can't wait for it. One of the fans has mentioned the obvious: new and exciting season. He's feeling that Walsall at home, the first home game of the season, it could be a special atmosphere. How are you two feeling about that?
It will be, because it's the first home game of the season that we come back. So I'm excited. I can't wait to see the fans there. Can't wait for them to see the team at home, and I'm just really excited by it. I can't wait. But first of all, we've got Sutton Saturday, which is the only focus. And
that's it, isn't it? It doesn't matter what happens, who you play.
No.
One game at a time, isn't it?
Yeah, and we've got that thing about next game mentality, which is what we got to have.
Yeah, and I think obviously the other added dimension, the previous manager is coming back for that, and I think the fans, and rightly so, will give him and Wayne a warm welcome, given the job they did at the club, and I think that's important that the fans absolutely do that. And then, as he will be doing, he's got a job to do the same as James has got a job to do, and he will want to win that football game as James will want to win that football game, and our fans will want to win it, and Walsall fans will want to win it. So it is one of those things that the kind of occasion that might sit around it. It is a game of football at the end of the day that you want to win. But I think it is important that, and I think the fans will do that, to recognise the job that Michael and Wayne did at this football club, and I'm sure they're looking forward to coming back to Rodney Parade as well, and they certainly get a warm welcome.
Because I guess that's going to be something that's more in fans' mind and probably the media's mind, because of the previous manager coming back to Rodney Parade with his new team. Am I reading this wrong in thinking, on a football level, it doesn't really matter because they're just two teams and they're two different teams anyway? Or am I backing up the wrong tree with that one?
I get on really well with them both, but I've got a job to do, and it's to win a football match for this football club and make our supporters proud. So that's all I think about for that day. So what they did here was remarkable. I'll give them that. But Saturday the 6th of August, is it?
Yeah.
We've got a football match to win.
Yeah. That was the date of the Maidy Music Festival. We'd be glad to know you won't miss it, because I had to move to the 13th.
but we got to remember we've got Sutton on Saturday.
Yeah, that is the first focus.
That's our focus.
And you talk about the fans at Sutton, and I don't know if I told you this, but we've sold over 400 tickets in advance for that game on Saturday, which is fantastic in terms of that, and it just shows you the level of support that we've got. The supporters club are running a couple of buses, Stav's running a couple of buses as well, and that takes a big commitment for those people to do that, and indeed all those fans are travelling up. And let's not forget, there's a rail strike as well on Saturday, so for them to have to get to where it is in kind of South London, albeit a little bit out. It's not the easiest journey in that respect, but people have bought their tickets in their numbers because they want to go and see us down there, and credit to that, and we're very grateful for that.
Really
You're
grateful.
really, we spoke about this before the show, but you're very mindful of that, Gavin, that there is a cost of living crisis is what is being dubbed as, and there is going to be a lot more further distance travelling for fans this season away, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think we were conscious of that last year in a variety of reasons. I think we go back to our game against Scunthorpe last season, where we paid for people to travel on the buses, and we thought that was really important, given the fact that we had the Welsh Government ban imposed at home, where they couldn't come to the home games. We thought it was important to do that, and we had a great turnout at Scunthorpe, and obviously we won the game there, 500 odd, and travelled up. And the other thing that we did in terms of looking at season ticket prices, that was very much in our forefront. We live in an area that is deprived to a certain extent, and we try to make what we offer as the club accessible to everybody. So, if you can't afford to buy a ticket, you can come and volunteer, and by volunteering you get a ticket to come in and watch the game, and we can go right up to those who can afford to buy a box for the season. But when we talked as a board around season ticket pricing, we were conscious of the cost of living crisis, but we're also conscious of the fact that we hadn't put season ticket prices up for over, I think it was five years. And what we were looking at then is that how do we do it in a certain way, into what category? We wanted to make sure that it was still affordable for families, which is why we ended up in a position where we took away one of the free games. So you get 8 free games now, I think it is, as opposed to 9, and that put, I think, £22 and £20 on the adult tickets respectively. And I think that was a conscious effort by us to say, how do we meet that middle ground? Because of course, as a football club, we're not exempt from the cost of living crisis as well. Our cost base is going up, and I don't think fans would thank us if we didn't do things that then put us in a difficult position financially, downstream. So it's trying to strike a balance, but we're very much at the forefront of our minds when we make those decisions.
Okay, 2 very passionate fans left to cover off.
Yeah, I've got a listener's question from Alison Davis. I think you've kind of covered it a little bit, but I'll ask it also. Are you looking forward to the new season and welcoming all your county supporters back to Rodney Parade? Wait for the roar from the crowd as the players step on the pitch. It's going to be a great season. Looking forward to welcoming fans back.
And I thought that was a really lovely, poetic
it's-
way to phrase it.
Who's that from?
Alison Davis.
Alison.
And I think it's only fair that we give Alison the 2 tickets that you kindly give us. We're going to pass them on to
Yeah,
Alison.
yeah,
as well,
fantastic.
right?
That's
'Cause
great.
I thought it was a lovely, positive, happy, and imaginative question.
Yeah,
already.
I can't wait. And it's like I said before, and I said it in my interviews, and I've said it previously. When you walk out of that town and you walk down that touchline, and the fans are like they are, and it gives you goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah.
It makes the hair stand on the back of your neck. I said earlier about the support from the staff, and they had a massive value to what the team does on the pitch, but so do those fans in the crowd. When things are not going great, we need that encouragement sometimes to keep us going, to get us over that next line, to get that goal back, to keep the lads motivated, or when we're on top and we're winning, to keep us going, to get us through some tough moments. But I think that you've seen it from me when we played Swindon away, and we played Bristol Rovers at home. When we win those local derbies, if you like, you see what it means to me.
Yeah.
Because of, first and foremost, I'm a fan, and I think that's the thing. So I know what it means to everyone else. So without them, we're nothing, and the lads know that. And what I can't wait for them to do is see the team Saturday in full flow, and then back at Rodney Parade, and hopefully we can get over 5,000 at Rodney. I think that would be amazing. And like I said, they can add that 5 to 10% for us, like the staff members at the club, like the volunteers, like everybody's got a part of it. They give us that 5 to 10% more, and it's the old cliche. They're the 12th man.
Yeah.
They really, really are there, and I really want to make it a fortress this year, because it's the pitch now is a nice place to come to. Well, let's make it a fortress with our fans, and I know they'll do that this year. I've got no doubt about that.
Yeah, and they are an integral part to everything that we do. And I mean, when the players walk out in that pitch and the music is playing with hi ho and everything, and they join into it, I mean, it's just fantastic for everybody. And as James says, the hairs go on the back of your neck, and we're looking forward to that. But before that, and as I've said earlier, over 400 will be already travelling to Sutton. I hope that we can get that to around about 500. Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest, and that's just great for the players. It's great for everybody concerned.
No, it's brilliant. The thing is that with cliche, sometimes there's a bit of a truth in there, isn't there?
Yeah.
And with football, I think it is. It is that whole fan base that makes it. I think they're our customers, aren't they? So we have to perform. We have to keep our customers happy. But yeah, in football, it's just a different level thing, isn't it? And the final fan is this one.
Last but no means least, what are you most looking forward to of the new season?
It's kind of seeing all the planning that we've done right the way through the close season, and indeed before the season finished last season, coming together. There's nothing better than seeing a plan come together and know that you've contributed to part of that. So, I'm really excited about Saturday and seeing how we perform. I mean, I'm in a very privileged position in the post that I've got at the club, and I never forget that. And when I go down to the training base and I watch them, I'm thinking, God, this looks really, really good. And what is great, I think, is seeing all that coming together, all that hard work that's going on through the close season, right the way through the club. Coming to fruition when that ball kicks on 3 o'clock on Saturday, and hopefully we'll get that win. I just think I love football, and I love this football club, and it's great. We travel and do a lot of miles like all other fans as well, and we got some great relationships right the way through the country. It's great to see those people as well, but it is almost even better than when you go to those places and you win as well. So I'm just looking forward to getting back, but looking forward to seeing all the plans being executed on the pitch.
James, I know that you've already said a lot about the forthcoming game, the Saturday game. Anything that you're really, really can't wait to see?
The fans.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see them Saturday, and for the lads as well, because I think that's important for them to know what it means to this city, especially the new lads, for them to do well. Like, the lads we recruit. So you look at James Waite, you look at Sam Bowen. They're from the area, so they know what it's like. More so Sam, because of obviously connections with his dad, and so he'll know that. So we've got a real strong core of the older lads who have been here a long time. They know what it means. They're excited. I can see a change in them. I can see a change in them physically. I can see a change in them mentally for the better. And with the new lads as well, I'm just excited to see what it means to this club, and for them to play at Rodney Parade, because I think you see the pitch and you go, oh, this is all right. And when you bring them in to show them, but when you get everyone around the outside of that, when you get the fans behind me in that dugout, and when you get the Bisley going, and when you get the away support beyond the goal, and it's as lively as what it is, I'm getting the hairs are standing on it now, and just thinking about it, because I just look at the moments like the Bristol Rovers games. I want that every week. I want that every week, because I want everyone to feel like that, because when we're doing well out there, everyone goes home happy, and I think that's what we're trying to do this year.
Again, thank you both for coming in again.
Thank you.
Really love spending time with you both, and thanks for being honest and open and answering all listeners' questions, our questions. We are so excited. We wish you obviously all the very best for the new season.
Thank you.
We're going to be there every single step of the way. Well, every home match at least, anyway.
No, we appreciate your support. Your support is fantastic for us
it.
on a match day, and the work that you do, and the work that Luke does as well when he comes and interviews James, and they're asking those difficult questions on the press conference. We enjoy that, and we know how much it means to you, so thanks very much as well.
I love the way we talk about you guys getting ready and can't wait to start to show things off the new season. Our pop-up banner thing is in just being tidied up, cleaned and repaired. That's happening. Right. We've ordered new speaker systems and everything. Not going to be there for the first couple of games, we don't think, but hopefully if all goes well. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into it with what you guys do and everything else, but thank you both for coming in. Our next show is on Sunday, the 7th of August. And don't forget, we have already done our pre-season review, so go have a little listen to that one as well. And don't forget as well, on the 6th of August, we just announced it. The warm-up is back at 1:30pm with Tinty and the Bucket Hats. Take it easy. We'll see you soon.
Broadcasting in digital stereo, online, on your mobile phone, and on your home devices.
Right here, right now.
Newport City Radio.